for it. Okay. So what is the first? Okay, so if you were given 4 terms and asked to factor, you may want to consider factor by grouping. That's what we're going to learn today. When we factor by grouping, we're going to split the expression into groups, so you don't need to read any of that. Okay, what is the first thing you always look for when you factor? What's the first thing for like almost every problem we've done all year? Even before common denominator. What? Even before same number, before factor, there's something I got to check first. Like terms, you're getting closer, highest exponent, standard form. Standard form. Standard form. Yeah, you guys are so good at it, it's second nature, right? So the very first thing you got to do before you can do anything else is you got to make sure that it's in standard form. Biggest exponent on the left, and you go from there, okay? So number 1, standard form. Number 2, take out greatest common factor. Okay, check for first one negative. Remember we talked about last time? If the first term is negative, you have to take out the negative, okay? Factor by grouping only works if the very first thing you do is get rid of the GCF and if the first one's negative. Doesn't matter if there's any other negatives in it. It's just the first one that is negative, okay? Dawson, did you have a question? Great. Okay. So far okay? So far just like last time, right? Okay, number 3. Put each term in a box. Okay? Here's what I mean. Do you see how over here in our first example, I have 4 different terms, right? Well, that's handy because look, I have 4 different squares. Now you want to put them in order, so like I'm reading a book. So left to right, starting at the top, okay? So my first term is going to go here. In the box. And then my second term, my third term, and my last term, okay? So remember, you guys, just as you're finishing writing these in the box, remember, okay, that what I'm trying to do is get parentheses as the answer. In our previous units, I've given you parentheses and we've multiplied them out to standard form, right? This unit, we're doing the opposite. I'm giving you a standard and you're gonna factor it and give me the parentheses, the 2 things that multiply to it, okay? Are we doing okay? So far okay? Okay, so now what I want you to do is I'm going to cover up that bottom row. So we're only looking at this top row, okay? So between the top row, what is the greatest common factor because there was a bunch of you not here last time. For the, 8 of you that weren't here last time, greatest common factor means what is the biggest thing that both of those terms have in common? Alita? 5. What? 5? No, good guess. 2? I can do more, Dawson. 4x. Look, they both have a 4 and they both have an x, right? Does that make sense? So 4x is the greatest common factor. That's my GCF. That's the biggest thing that goes evenly into both pieces.
Go to the auditorium at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Good? Does that make sense, you guys? Okay, so now I'm going to go and I'm going to look at the bottom row. Do both of those have an X in it?
No.
No. Do they both have a Y?
Yeah.
Okay. What else goes into them?
3.
So 3Y? Ah, because the first one is negative. So negative 3Y. Good. Are we good? Okay, now we're going to do the columns. 4x squared and negative 3xy. What do they have in common? X. That's it. 1x you could have put in 2 if you want. Okay? You could have put in 2. Is that even a word? I don't think so.
You can make it 1.
You can put in it there. Okay. Last column. What about there? Good. No, that's my work. That's not it. That's my work. Oh, yeah, just the 5. Good. Okay. Now, do you guys remember in the example at top of this that I showed you at the beginning? Where did we put the parentheses last unit and the unit before? On the outside of the box, right? So if my answer is my parentheses, guess what? There they are on the outside of my box. 4x minus 3y times x plus 5. That's it. I told you we're going nice and slow on this stuff, so it should feel easy, okay? We're going to do a couple more. They're going to get a little trickier, but not too much. Good? Any questions? Okay. Let's look at B, okay? Step 1, is it in standard form? Step 2, is there a GCF to take out? Yeah, there is. What is it? 3x? It's got to be in all of them. And there's no x's in the negative 30, so it's just the 3. So before we can put them in the box, we have to take out any GCFs at the beginning. We're not ready for the box until we've gotten rid of GCFs. Okay? So if I divide that GCF out, so now what I'm putting in the box is not the original. It's when I've taken out my GCF. So x cubed, negative 2x squared, 5x, and negative 10.
Wait, what happened to the 6?
Good. So do you see how at the very beginning, all of these were divisible by 3? So I had to take them out. So this is what I put into my box. So I got the 2 from doing 6 over 3. Good question. What else? Any other questions?
No. Is that it?
No.
And you gotta put it in the
I got to figure out my parentheses. Okay, so let's look at the first row. Okay, careful on this one. X cubed and negative 2x squared.
You can do x squared.
Good. Not just one x, there's 2 x's that they have in common. So it's x squared. Bottom row.
2.
Try again.
5.
5.
What you said it was
Because, well, 5 can go in the 5 once. 5 can go yeah. So it can be the same number. it just-
Yeah.
all it would say?
Yeah, it has to be the same number. Yep. Okay, first row or first column, I mean.
X.
Is it 2 x's again or just 1 x this time? Good.
Your root is the root. Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Distracting. What happened?
I teach teenage boys. That's what happened. No, I just said that's what happened to my room. You think that broke because I beat somebody?
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. I'm a, hold up your knuckles. Okay. If I, never mind. What I just gonna say, I don't want it recorded. I'll tell you later. Okay, what's the GCF now? 2?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. First one's negative. Okay, here's my parentheses. So x squared, it doesn't matter which one you write first. Multiplication is called commutative. What that means is the order you multiply doesn't matter. Like 5 times 2 is 10, right? But 2 times 5 is also 10. So it doesn't matter which piece I put first as long as they're there. But there is one other step on this one that the other one didn't have. Anyone remember?
The greatest common factor.
It's that 3 we took out at the beginning still has to be there.
Oh, shoot, where? Oh.
Just out front.
It's still divided by.
I knew that.
So it's still divided by 3, but the 3 doesn't go away. Okay? Okay, so step 4 for our factor by grouping is
There's no greatest common factor.
take out GCF in each row and column. And last step, put together your parentheses. GCF. Yeah, greatest common factor.
Put together what?
Your parentheses. So step 4, take out your greatest common factor, your GCF, in each row and column. And step 5, put your parentheses together. We get those from the outside of the box, right?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, I'm going to have you guys try one with your neighbors and I'll check them and then we'll go to